I think one of the ways that Fluency Tutor can be used that I don't see very often is what I like to call hacking it for alternative assessment. So, for instance, let's say that you teach a middle school science class and you want to give your students an opportunity to either draw and label the water cycle, or you want to give them an opportunity to describe the water cycle. Now, they can describe it with words or they could describe it speaking. Fluency Tutor comes in with them describing it by speaking. So let's look at how we would do that. So let's click on Share Passage, and then we're going to create our own content. And then we'll title this Water Cycle Assessment. I can put a short description in if I need to. And then we're going to go straight to the image, right? Insert image. And this is that same that we saw in the last video about how to get an image from the internet. So I want to go and find an image of the water cycle. And for this, I want the picture to be pretty big because I don't want the student to have to strain to see it, right? So I'm going to scroll through, and of course I also need one that's not labeled. It can be drawn out, but I don't want the words in it. So as I go through looking through these, most of them are labeled. There's one that's not, but it's only 407 by 280. That's pretty small. I want to see if I can find one that's bigger. That one's a little bit bigger, 526 by 306, and it meets my requirements of not being labeled. Let's just scroll a little bit more. And here's one that's not labeled. Okay, a little bit bigger still, 731 by 453. So I'm going to choose this one. So you click it, and then I'm going to right click on the image and choose Copy Image Address. And I'm going to go back to Fluency Tutor, and right here, real carefully inside the parentheses, I'm going to paste that image address that I just copied. So this is what it'll look like. Right? So the student sees this image. Now if I want, I could come in here and above it give the instructions. So, use the following diagram to describe the water cycle. Be sure to use scientific vocabulary. So then what the student will see is this. And so they'll have this image, and they'll have the instructions. And then from here, I'll scroll down and share with Classroom just like I share a passage from Fluency Tutor. I'll select the Google Classroom I want to share to. And then if I want to, I can select specific students, or I can leave it open to all students to do it this way, however I want to do it, and then create the assignment. So the share's been successful, and now the student can access it from their account. So what does that look like? Well, I'm going to hit refresh and go to classwork. Go to the stream, make it refresh. Go back to classwork, and there's the water cycle assessment. So I click on that and click on this. And then it pops up and I see the image. Use the following diagram to describe the water cycle. Be sure to use scientific vocabulary. So as a student, I'm looking at this image, and then I know what I'm going to have to do is decide where I'm going to start, maybe here with precipitation, and I'm going to click record, and I'm going to click start recording. The water cycle starts with precipitation from clouds that falls down to the earth. Alright, so the student then would trace all the way through the water cycle and then hit stop recording. And then once the student has stopped the recording, they can listen. They could re-record if they wanted to, or they can say I'm finished and turn in the assignment. So that's it. That's one way to hack Fluency Tutor and use it in a classroom where you're not specifically trying to teach reading fluency, but it's an opportunity to leverage the tools that Fluency Tutor offers and use them for alternative assessments, choice boards, however best fits the needs of your students.